back at Vista Peak High School in Aurora, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs will take on the Vista Peak Bison. The Vista Peak Bison will receive to start the game. Fort Morgan Mustangs will kick off, and the opening kickoff is brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. With 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan, Ingmeyer Phillips can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or needs. So another beautiful day. The weather gods have blessed us all season long with nice weather for Mustang football. And we're about ready to get started here and to receive scoring updates as they happen for Fort Morgan Mustangs football games all season long. Follow us on Twitter at B106 and turn on mobile notifications.
And number 21.
Fort Morgan, Franny Gonzalez getting ready to kick off to the Bison. I can't exactly tell their numbers who are back for Vista Peak. They have white numbers on their blue jerseys, but we will do the best we can.
It's difficult when they have light colored jerseys and then they put white numbers on them.
So kickoff to Franny Gonzalez, and touched initially at the 5-yard line, but goes into the end zone. So the Vista Peak Bison will start 1st and 10 at their own 20. Nice kickoff there by Franny.
Yeah, the receiver tried to catch it, went through his hands. Luckily for him, it had enough oomph on it that it went into the end zone for a touchback. Otherwise, that could have been a tragedy for Vista Peak.
So Vista Peak coming out one wide right. Looks like 2 receivers left. Their quarterback, Noah Butler, wide receiver right, is DJ Ortiz. Shotgun formation with 2 backs in the backfield. And he's going to run it right up the middle. And not much there. He might have got a yard. Nice defensive interior tackle there by the Fort Morgan Mustangs for a gain of 1. So they'll bring up a 2nd and 9 from the 21 for Vista Peak.
I'll bring up 2nd and 9 for the Bison.
Yeah, I think they're going to run that sort of formation and feature Butler most of the game.
He looks like he's been pretty well featured all year. We have 2 receivers right, 1 left, and this time he's going to pitch it back to the 15 to the back. But another nice defensive hustle by the Fort Morgan Mustangs, and it looks like they are back again at the 20-yard line, so a loss of 1. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 10 for Vista Peak. So right now the Fort Morgan Mustangs reading what Vista Peak is putting at them and holding them in place.
Yeah, so far the scouting report must be holding, and they're doing exactly what the coach wants to do. Probably expect a pass on this play.
So 3 receivers right with 1 back. He rolls out to his right, looking downfield, still looks, and it's going to be a completed pass. Hit immediately after the catch, but it's going to be enough for a 1st down. Out to the 31-yard line. That'll be a gain of 11. So 1st and 10 for Vista Peak at the 31.
Tackled on the play by number 4.
Nice crisp pass. And a nice completion by Hawkins.
So Vista Peak, they only line up about 4 yards behind where the ball is. The receivers split wide, have 3 left and 1 right with a single back. Shotgun formation, and it's a pitch out to the 30, 35, down to the 39-yard line, it looks like. So it'll be a gain of 8.
Pitch to number 20.
So it'll be 2nd and 2 for Vista Peak.
Tackled by number 32, Chobe McBride.
Yeah, that was just the option.
That'll bring up 2nd and 2 for the
Butler pitches when the defense attacks him and leaves the pitch man open.
So 1 receiver right again and 2 left. Double back shotgun formation. Butler looks downfield, pass down the sideline, but it's going to be over the head of DJ Ortiz. Oh, they just now threw a flag
DJ Ortiz fell incomplete, depending on the play
for pass interference.
On the play.
So we're going to see, I'm guessing it's a pass interference call. So that will be a penalty against Fort Morgan. And it's not a spot foul. I don't know why they're all walking clear down that far. They call it a defensive holding, which should be a 5-yard penalty. So that will be a first down for Vista Peak.
And even if it was pass interference, I believe it's only 15 yards, and it's not a spot foul. There was a little bit of a bump there. The defender did inhibit his pattern, but it was certainly one that could have gone either way.
So Vista Peak handoff up the middle, cross midfield into Mustang territory, down to about the
Butler's handoff up the middle.
Looks like to the 47-yard line. So that's going to be a gain of 4, 2nd and 6 from the Mustangs' 47-yard line.
On the play by number 72, Ore O'Canis.
Ray O'Canis in on the tackle. Seems to be doing okay. Henry Weimer in on the front line. Alex Mai. 3 receivers left, 1 right. Single back. Fake up the bear, a fake pitch, and then Butler keeps it up the middle, and he is going to be dropped.
Butler on the keeper
for a
short loss. Tackled on the play by number 32.
So that's going to bring up a third down and
bring up 3rd and 7 for the Bison.
So up 3rd and 7 now for Vista Peak from the 48-yard line. So Ortiz lines up to the right. Now they have 3 receivers. 2 receivers wide and a tight end and a back in the backfield. Shotgun formation. Butler rolls out to his left. He drops the ball. It's going to be picked up. Oh, it's going to be picked up by the Mustangs. It's going to be picked up by Alex Mai. And he takes it down to the 20. So the pressure on Noah Butler forces him to drop the ball. And Fort Morgan, after about 3 tries, finally picks it up, and Alex Mai gets it down to the 20-yard line for the Mustangs.
That was a great defensive play. He kept fighting, and that's why they didn't blow the play dead, and then he ended up fumbling on his own.
So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs from the 20. They come out in a full house backfield. It's going to be a handoff to Jared Bohm. Not much room there for him. Going to bring up a 2nd and 10.
Number 25, Jared Bohm
for the Mustangs. Still from the 20-yard line.
Looks like maybe they looked at the films of the Elizabeth game and figured out how to stop that defense or that Morgan offense right on the line of scrimmage.
So 2nd and 10. It's just outside the 20 this time. They moved from inside the 20 to just outside the 20. And now we have a stoppage of play. The clock did not run on that play, so they need to get the clock in order because there was 8:02 when that play started and it was a run, so it should have continued to run. So they're
always have difficulty with clocks.
Now they have a run down to 7:55. Schneider under center, 3 receivers bunched right and a single back in the backfield. And Schneider rolls out to his right, a little pass out to the flat out there to Richard Herrera. Richard Herrera gets it down to just outside of the 15-yard line, so that's going to bring up a 3rd and long 5
pass to Richard
from the 15.
A gain of about 5.
For the Mustangs, a nice little pass that out to the flat to Richard Herrera. Wes Anderson splits wide right. Kimball is lined up as a tight end. 2-back backfield. Joey Schneider in the shotgun formation. He gets the ball, and it's a handoff to Toby McBride, and he fights it. Not much gain. He was just outside the 15. Now it's going to be on the 15, so it's still going to be 4th and 5 from the 15. So there's not much running there up the middle for the Mustangs. They're going to bring Franny Gonzalez in, let him try another field goal.
That'll bring up 4th and 5.
Yeah, it's unusual. Fort Morgan has 2 running plays for a total of -1 yards and 1-for-1 passing for 5 yards. Maybe they're going to dare us to pass today.
So Franny Gonzalez lines up. Joey Schneider is the holder. Ball down. Kick is going to be blocked. And I don't believe they can advance a block anyway. It should be a dead ball. So it should be.
Attempt blocked.
You know, a few situations like this where Yeah, we don't take advantage of their breaks, and
Bison
we give them some
recovers.
breaks.
First down and 10. Bison at
It's not going to be good. We're going to need to settle down and play a little better.
I guess they take it where the ball comes to. I didn't realize that on a block. I guess it would be.
If it
That's
goes
on an
back.
extra point, so it is a live ball. I'm sorry there.
Yeah, they had a chance of picking that up and returning it for a touchdown. Morgan jumped on the defenders quickly.
So 1st and 10 from the 30 for the Bison. Pass out to the left and over the head of his intended receiver, and there's a flag that came down out there.
There's pass intended for number 4, Isaiah Young.
So now we will see what the penalty is going to be. State Farm Insurance. Let the State Farm Insurance Office of Greg Mullen and Brush help you find the best policy to fit your life. Home, auto, life, health, State Farm Insurance is here for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call today, 842-4555.
Correction flew off.
So they must have called it pass interference. It's going to be a 1st and 10 now for the Bison.
After the penalty,
That's going to come from the 46-yard line. Pitch back to the back, and he is going to be out of bounds for a first down into Fort Morgan territory down to the 41-yard line. And that was by Nathan Miller.
Pushed out of bounds by Isaiah Lopez.
So there will be have a flag on the play, holding on Vista Peak. So that will be coming back. So that will be a spot foul. And they will bring it back to the. This is apparently a hold in the backfield, because this brings it clear back to the 31-yard line. So 1st and.
Let's
see where they're at. That's quite a penalty.
a lot.
About 24.
After the penalty, it'll be 1st down and 20 for the Bison.
So Fort Morgan, Vista Peak hands it off up the middle to a Miller. He gets outside again, knocked backwards. He gets around the corner outside there. He gets out to the Fort Morgan or the Bison 40-yard line. So that's going to bring up about a 2nd and 16.
Number 22, Nathan Miller on the carry. Good for
the Bison.
By number 25, Jared Ball.
They got a big chunk of their back on that play with Miller running hard.
So from the 39-yard line, 2 receivers right, 1 left. Handoff. It's going to be a keeper by Butler, but he is brought down in the backfield, and that is going to be Herrera that gets in and gets the sack on Butler. A little extracurricular after the play, I guess. I really didn't see what happened. Butler had gone down.
I'm guessing by the reaction of the official that possibly Butler was trying to get up quickly and maybe was being held and then did a flop trying to draw a penalty, and the umpire had nothing, or the head ref is going to have no part of that.
So now it's 3rd down from the 35-yard line. It's a pitch back. Gets wide out to the left, plus the 40, 45, and he steps out at the Bison 49-yard line, it looks like. So that'll should bring up a 4th down and about 13.
And around to number 15, Alex Hawkins. Good for a long game.
For Vista Peak, so nice job there by Fort Morgan getting out to the edge and shutting off their runner going wide. So this will be 4th and 13 from the 43-yard line for Vista Peak. Kyle Daniels is deep for the Mustangs, stands at about his 25-yard line. Snap back. Nice end-over-end punt. It's going to be over his head, but it's going to be down by Vista Peak.
Nathan Miller on the punt, down by number 6.
And it looks like it's going to be at about the 19-yard line.
That'll be a 1st down and 10 at the 19 for the Mustangs.
So 1st down for the Mustangs with 4:03 to go in the first period. Scoreless here as we go through the first period. So we'll see if Fort Morgan can get some offense going. get down and get some points on the board before the end of the quarter is going to be 1st and 10. It's like from the 20 for Fort Morgan. And it's a pitch around the right end. Gets a little room. He'll get it. Just our vantage point is a little tough to see where they're going to be, but it looks like maybe out to the 22-yard line. So we're going to give them a gain of 2. So it'll be 2nd and 8.
Launch on the carry. Good for a short gain. Tackle
to the 22.
Tim Clam.
Catch who was that run off?
I couldn't see it from here. I didn't see who. I know they have. Looks like Kyle Daniels is in the backfield also.
All right, we'll give it to him.
So snap, handoff over the right side, and just not much there. Excuse me, it's not Kyle Daniels. Actually, it's Tate Kimball, number 41. I'm sorry.
The freshman getting some playing time early in this game.
So it's going to bring up a. Yeah, it looks like about a 3rd and 7 from the 23 for the Mustangs.
Mustang ball carrier tackle.
Fluhoff spreads wide left.
Bring up 3rd and 7.
And Kimball wide right. High backfield behind Schneider. 3rd down with 2:58 to go. Schneider back to pass. Looking, and it's going to be well over the head of his intended receiver, Fluhoff. So it'll bring up a 4th and 7 from the 23.
Schneider's pass intended for number
That's
29.
his first miss. He's 1-1 on the night or the day.
Fell incomplete. Put it on the play by number 6.
Fort Morgan seeming a little disorganized on offense, that they're not able to get much moving, and they have to be careful that they don't let Vista Peak get too far ahead of them.
So Tony Swetzik in for the first punt for Fort Morgan. 2:51 to go in the contest, or in the first quarter, excuse me. And not a real good snap, but he does get the kick off. Pretty nice kick out to the 45, down to the 40, and taken back out to the 49 or so of the Vista Peak Bison. They're going to mark it. We're going to
Received by number 4, Isaiah Young.
They're going to mark it at about the 49-yard line, 48-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bison.
8-yard line.
For the Bison with 2:42 to go in the first period.
So far, it's been pretty much a defensive game. Vista Peak having some success, earning 3 first downs, one of them, or 5 first downs, one of them on penalties, but Fort Morgan got to get their first down.
So 2 receivers right, 2 left, handoff up the middle, and not much room running for Vista Peak, and the whistles blow. He's going to get it just out past the 49. We'll give him a gain of 1 because he's not quite to the 50. So it's going to be 2nd and 9 from the 49 for Vista Peak.
Most of the defensive line for Fort Morgan.
So far, 6 different Bison have touched the ball. They're spreading it around, using all their skill players.
So 2 receivers right, 1 left. I backfield with Butler in the gun. He throws it out, the pass out to the right flat, but that is incomplete to Sanusi. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 9 for Vista Peak from the 49-yard line.
So far on the day, Vista Peak's passed 4 times. Once there was a hold, once there was a pass interference, once they got 11 yards, and now finally his first incomplete.
So 3rd and 9 for Vista Peak with 2 minutes to go in the first period, still scoreless. And they're trying to figure out where to mark the ball out, I guess. Premier Farm Credit is still the lender of choice for America's farmers and ranchers. They understand and are passionate about agriculture and are dedicated to serving America in good times and bad. Premier Farm Credit, the gold standard in ag lending. So now they finally get the ball set. 3rd down. Butler looks to pass. It's going to be complete up to 40, 45, 40. He gets away, 20, 15, 10. That's going to be a touchdown for Vista Peak. And that is to Isaiah Young.
Yeah.
51-yard touchdown pass to Isaiah Young. With 1:42 to go in the first period.
Well, that's not the play that you wanted to have happen at that point, but with an explosive offense like Vista Peak has, you have to always be prepared for that. Now Fort Morgan's going to have to come up with a response to that.
So in for the point after try.
Nathan
Or Vista Peak.
The extra point.
Is going to be, I can't see the number very, turned from you a little bit. So a minute 42 in the first period, 6-0. Kick down, and it looks like it is no good.
Extra point.
So with a minute 42 to go in the first period, Vista Peak goes ahead 6-0 on B106 and B106.com. Back at Vista Peak High School in Aurora, along with Kevin Rohde, this is Brian Nickel. The Vista Peak Bison had just gone ahead of the Fort Morgan Mustangs 6-0 on a 51-yard pass from Noah Butler to Isaiah Young. It wasn't a full 51 yards. We'll say it was probably about a 20-yard pass or so, and then he broke a couple of tackles and then went the rest of the way. Once he got out in the open, there wasn't anybody going to catch him.
Right, he was in amongst the defenders, and several Mustangs had a chance to tackle him, and he was just a good, strong runner and made it down the field.
So Vista Peak, they're going to onside kick. And it was kicked, I think, by Fort Morgan and recovered by Vista Peak. We'll see if it went the full 10 yards. I think it did go across and came back. So the referees are discussing that now to see what. Oh, they just threw a flag on somebody.
I think they're saying that Vista Peak touched it before it crossed the line.
Okay. We have a new sponsor today to the program, Wolf Auto Center, the small town dealer with the hometown values, with locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, Holyoke, Sydney, and Scottsbluff. They're large enough to serve your needs and small enough to know your name.
I guess there was a chop block on the play there.
Okay.
Vista Peak defender was coming in, trying to get to the ball, and on most first down or offside kicks nowadays, you send blockers ahead to block all the opposing team, and then you just have someone follow up, and whoever got to the ball first did a chop block on the Fort Morgan player, and in the open field you can't block below the belt. And so they're going to have to re-kick probably from 15 yards farther back, or 10 yards farther back.
It looks like Fort Morgan has their offense out there, so I think it looks like they're just going to mark it back and give Fort Morgan the ball.
Oh, it doesn't seem right to me, but we'll take advantage of it and we'll go.
So Fort Morgan with a great field position here at the Vista Peak 40-yard line with a minute. Okay, the clock was running, now it stopped. I don't know, and it's going to be a pass over the middle by Schneider, but well over the head of the intended receiver, Austin Cosman.
That's that pass play that I think they need to practice about 1,000 times every night, because it's always open every practice. It's always open because everybody expects Fort Morgan to run out of that power set and release the two tight ends. We've been wide open. There's only been once all season that we've hit that, I believe.
So 2nd down and 10 from the Bison 40 for the Mustangs. A minute. I don't know why the clock is running. It was an incomplete pass. They need to get that straightened out. Fort Morgan, Schneider under center. He drops back. He's getting pressure. He is going to go down. 45 at the 45-yard line, so that's going to be a loss of 5. So it'll be 3rd and 15 from the 45.
In the backfield by number 54, Tim
for the Mustangs.
And Fort Morgan's offense still in negative territory.
So third,
go ahead, get back. We actually have net 1 yard.
For the Mustangs.
So 3rd and 15 from the 45. For Fort Morgan, one receiver right and 3 left and 1 right. It's going to be a draw play. Tate Kibble, he's down to the 40, 35, 30, 25, down to the 20. So Tate Kibble, nice run there by Kibble. He gets it down inside the 20. And he's going to get it down to about the 17-yard line.
Those you Mustang fans that have been around for a long time remember the Rick Call era, and one of his signature plays was the sprint option or sprint draw. And that was reminiscent of that, except Tate cut it back across field and made a nice move and got him in business. Fort Morgan's first offensive first down.
So we're down to 10 seconds. We'll see if they get this. They're going to wait for the clock to run out here in the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, it will be Vista Peak 6, Fort Morgan 0. But with Fort Morgan driving on B106 and B106.com. Back at Vista Peak High School, started the second quarter. The Fort Morgan Mustangs have a 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. Handoff over the right side. Now Eric Klughoff, he gets around the corner. Well, it's not, actually, it's not Eric Klughoff, excuse me. That is Jose Padoa.
Off to number 22, Jose Fauda.
He gets it down to about the 11-yard line, so that's going to be a gain of 6.
Good for a gain of 6.
That'll be 2nd and 4 from the 11. Nice run there by Fedora around the right end.
Bring up a 2nd and 4 for the Mustangs.
Mustangs have to take advantage of this possession inside the red zone.
Yeah, we have a stop here by the referees.
I think he went out of bounds and he's asking them to put the clock back up.
They've had a problem with the clock for today, that's for sure. MMI International. Before your next mixer or feeder truck purchase, compare the MMI design, craftsmanship, and service. They continually outperform our competitors hands down. Call them at 842-5161. Now Fort Morgan, now we're going to stop the clock again. So they have a problem with the clock operator today. Valley View Villa, look to the team at Aspen Rehabilitation inside Valley View Villa for your sports rehab, short-term or long-term care needs. Stop by 815 Fremont or call them today, 867-8261.
Problems with the clock operator. He reset it to 48 like they wanted, but then he started it after they signaled to start when the play starts.
So now they got it right, 11:48. Schneider under center, full house backfield. Jose Padoa again over the left side. He cuts it outside. He is going to be brought down. There's going to be a flag thrown out on that end. So the clock will stop again. So we'll see what they have.
Number 22, Jose.
They have a hold out on that corner.
Tackled on the play by number 8.
We have a hold on Fort Morgan. So that hurts. Step it down again.
And the block's in the backfield, so it's a spot foul. It'll be more than a 10-yard loss.
So it looks like they're taking it back to about the 24-yard line. So it'll be about, it's about 2nd and 15 or so, it looks like, for Fort Morgan from the 25-yard line. Schneider under center, full house backfield. It's going to be a fake. It's going to be it's going to be a pass out. Oh, nice one-handed catch. Oh, he drops it. Couldn't quite hold on to it. Eric Kimball had it going down, and I think he dropped it when he hit the ground. We were being blocked by the Fort Morgan Mustangs sideline. So a 3rd and 15 from the 25 for Fort Morgan.
For the Mustangs.
He was just a little out in front of him. He was pretty well covered. But the pass was there. He had it in his hand, just couldn't quite bring it in. So Kimball wide right. 3 right, 1 left with a single back to the backfield. Schneider takes the ball and rolls out to his right. He's going to pass it. Oh, there should be pass interference called on Vista Peak.
Schneider's pass intended for number 11, Kyle Daniels.
That was going to be a pass at about the 17 or 18-yard line.
The Vista Peak defender complaining that he was just going for the ball. But I think if you're going to call it against Fort Morgan, you have to call it against Vista Peak, and it certainly has to go both ways.
Yeah, and you can go for the ball. You just can't go through the runner to do it. And he was trying to go through him. So that should bring up a first down.
The fans not agreeing. They thought the penalty was on Fort Morgan for trying to catch the ball. So not only is the clock operator maybe a little bit behind on the rules, but some of the fans as well.
So that should bring up it's not an automatic first down apparently.
After the penalty, the ball will be placed at the 11. 3rd down and a long 3 for the Mustangs.
Third. That's kind of a weird rule, but it's going to be 3rd and 3.
From the 11.
From the 11, 4-Fort Morgan. Handoff up the middle, and he breaks it. Doesn't quite get outside. He's going to be short of the first down, so it's going to bring up a 4th down. 4-Fort Morgan. Doesn't look like he gained anything. It's going to be 4th.
On the carry for a short gain, tackled by a herd of bison.
Still about a 4th and 4 from the 11 for the Mustangs.
4th down for
There's
the
just not much up the middle there. 4-Fort Morgan right now running the ball.
Yeah, this Peak doing a good job of plugging the hole.
So we have Tate Kimball and Kyle Daniels split left. Then we have trips to the right, real close to the line. Tate Kimball goes in motion. It's going to be a pitch back to Kimball. He gets a block. I don't believe he's not going to get his first down. Looks like it's going to be a no gain. So that's going to be a turnover on downs by Fort Morgan.
By number 54, Tim Clem.
So with 10:17 to go
Number 20.
in the second period, Fort Morgan does not take advantage of their great field position down at the 11-yard line and could not punch it in.
Turnover on downs. First down, Vista
So they need to take advantage of these opportunities when they arise.
Well, one improvement for Fort Morgan on that drive was that they did get an offensive first down. And so maybe they're starting to see the cracks in Vista Peak's defense, but it certainly isn't boding well right now.
So first down for Vista Peak, sends his man in motion. Noah Butler keeps it, but he is going to be dropped for a loss, and he's going to go down at about the 7-yard line. So nice defensive rush there by the Fort Morgan Mustangs.
Butler on the keeper, tackled in the backfield.
It's going to be a loss of about 3, so it's going to be second and
loss of 3,
13.
13 for the Bison.
For Fort Morgan, so nice defensive stand there by the Mustangs.
Absolutely. Got to get more plays like that to slow down this offense.
So second and 13. Looks like it's from about the 7-yard line. For Vista Peak, 3 left, 1 right. Butler, it's a pitch out to the right. He's got the corner made. He's out past the 30. So he gets that corner turned out there.
Long gain and a Bison first down.
He's going to be marked out at about the 30-yard line.
Tackled on the play by number 2, Isaiah Lopez.
So big run there by the Vista Peak Bison. The defensive end out there got caught inside, and Vista Peak turned that corner and got out to the 30-yard line. So one receiver split right and 1 left. 2 left, I backfield behind the quarterback, and it's going to be a handoff up the middle. He breaks it across the 45. He gets it up across the 40, out to about the 45.
Handoff up the middle.
That's a 15-yard gain for
another Bison first down.
Vista Peak out to the 45-yard line.
Tackled on the play by number 3,
That's,
Alex Perez.
They're just starting to open up the Fort Morgan defense and be able to run at will.
So first and 10 for Vista Peak. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers left. He looks to throw out to the right, and the man is wide open at the 50. Breaks a tackle to the 45 of Fort Morgan. He gets it down inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line. That is enough for another Tyson first down. But wide open out there in the flat.
Yep, that was a good pass there, wide open. And the receivers are making good moves to get downfield and gain some more yards.
So first and 10 for Vista Peak from the Morgan 43. It's a snap back and then a handoff and a loss of maybe 1. Let's see where they mark it at.
The middle, number 4, Isaiah Young, tackled for
with 8:29 to go in the second period. Vista Peak 6, Fort Morgan nothing. And they're going to call it a no gain, so it's going to be second and 10
for the Bison
from the 43. So Vista Peak. Ortiz split wide right. Pueller is coming left. They do line up in a shotgun formation with two backs next to Butler. Kind of an I formation. Now they send the man out to the motion left. It's going to be a pass to him, and it's going to be caught at about the 38-yard line. And they're going to, he loses the ball, but they're going to say he was down. And that's going to be at the 35-yard line. So that's going to bring up about a 3rd and 2 for Vista Peak from the Fort Morgan 35-yard line.
Vista Peak opening up their playbook and running a little bit of everything. Fort Morgan having a hard time keeping everything under wraps.
So now we have two receivers right, single backfield, shotgun formation, one receiver left. And it's going to be Butler on the keeper around the right side, and he is going to dive in for the first down for Vista Peak. He's going to get down to about the 32-yard line. So that's going to be a gain of 3, and that'll be a 1st and 10 from the 32.
That's good for Bison.
Vista Peak. Like he was initially stopped and then broke free and then drug down at the 32-yard line. That is enough for a Vista Peak first down. With 7:08 to go in the second period, Vista Peak leading 6-0.
Fort Morgan sidelining, looking like they're down a little bit. Kind of reminds me of Skyline, where we just weren't up and fired up for the game, and we have to do something to get those boys fired up.
So shotgun formation. Butler pitches it up wide right. He gets from the corner to the 30, and then brought down inside the 30.
It's to number 20.
Goes out of bounds, and is going to be just short of the 28-yard line. So it's going to be a gain of, let's see where they mark it. They're going to mark it at least the 28. It'll be a gain of 4.
Tackled by number 8, Richard Herrera.
So it'll be 2nd and 6.
Looks like a flag on the play.
And the flag apparently down on the far sideline. Horse collar tackle on Fort Morgan. So that's going to bring up, that'll bring up enough for a first down for Vista Peak. That's too bad. They had him stopped, and now the horse collar tackle. So that's going to bring up a first.
Ball will be spotted just inside the 15-yard
10 from the 15 for Vista Peak.
That horse collar tackle penalty is one penalty where they're just trying to protect the offense, and the defense doesn't have any way to tackle anyone.
So Butler scrambles for and then gets it. Looked like he was going to run, stops it, throws it downfield, and that is going to be Ortiz. That's going to be enough for Vista Peak first down. Looks like it's going to be about the 4-yard line. So first and goal for Vista Peak from about the 4. So the Fort Morgan needs to hold them here. They don't want to get down too far. Try to have to come back in this game.
So they'll have the wind in their face coming back down here the last 6 minutes of the quarter.
So 2 receivers left, 3 receivers left, 1 right. Butler is to pitch out to the right to the 5, and he is going to be in for the Vista Peak touchdown. That looks like that was to number 22, and that's Nathan Miller.
Touchdown run, that'll make your score.
So a 4-yard run for Vista Peak makes it 12-0 with the extra point coming up by Nathan Miller.
Looks like the Bison are going to go for 2.
So Vista Peak going for 2 since they missed their first try at the extra point. They have 2 receivers right, 1 left. Shotgun formation with a single back in the backfield. With 6 minutes to go in the second period. So Noah Butler gets the ball, and it's going to be a lob out to the corner, but it's over the head of Butler. So that's where the score will remain at 12-0 in favor of Vista Peak. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Back at Vista Peak High School in Aurora, Vista Peak has just gone ahead a little bit further of the Mustangs, 12-0 on a 4-yard run by number 22, Nathan Miller. So Vista Peak takes advantage of their field position. Fort Morgan does not. And this is the result in a touchdown for Vista Peak.
Fort Morgan's going to have to figure out something to do on offense and defense.
So Squibb kicked downfield, picked up about the 25, out to the 30, 35, keeps going out past the 40. So nice run there. Let's see who picked that up. Was that Fadoa, I believe, is who brought that back, number 22. So it'll be a 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan.
Okay, returned by the Mustangs up to the 42-yard line.
From the 42-yard line.
For Fort Morgan from there.
Definitely. Good field position again for Fort Morgan. And let's see if they can put a drive together and score some points before half.
So one receiver right. Looks like we have one to the left. I formation for the Mustangs. Schneider under center to hand off over the right side. There's only going to be a gain of about maybe one. Maybe, let's see where they mark. It's going to be a gain of 1 to the 43, so it'll bring up 2nd and 9.
For a short gain, that'll be 2nd and 9
from
the Mustangs.
From the 43 for Fort Morgan. So Jared Bohm comes out. And Tate Kimball into the game for the Mustangs. Eric Kimball wide right. Eric flew off to the split left. I formation. It's going to be a handoff to Kimball. He is brought down for a loss at the 39-yard line. Now we have a flag down. And it looks like they're going to call something on Vista Peak. I don't know if it was, might have been excessive celebration or something.
Right, you can't taunt. The idea is to have sportsmanship and not rub it in someone's face when you make a good tackle. So
personal foul on Vista Peak, so that will be enough for the 1st down for Fort Morgan. With 5:02 to go in the second period, with Vista Peak leading 12-0. So that'll bring up a 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan at the Bison 46-yard line. Fort Morgan needs to, their offensive line needs to block. He was brought down for about a 5-yard loss.
Right, he was hit almost as soon as he got the ball. Something's wrong with the offensive line. Not sure what it is.
So Kimball right flew off to the left. I formation. It's a handoff up the middle. I couldn't tell exactly who that was. He does it. He gets it down inside the 45. That goes to Tobin McBride.
Most of the interior line.
So it's going to be 2nd down. Let's see how far they get it down to about the 43-yard line. So that'll be a gain of 3.
You've got to hand it to the Vista Peak front line and their linebackers because they have absolutely shut down the vaunted Fort Morgan offense. And even against Elizabeth, I guess against Elizabeth it's similar to that. They've absolutely shut us down and we cannot get anything going.
So now we have something here. Checking one of the players here. They're going to make him come off the field.
It's 25, Jared Bohm. They taped up his hand and not sure what the deal is.
Apparently don't like the way it was taped or something there. I don't know just what they're...
Strange that one of the defensive players from Vista Peak would notice that and point it out to the official, but...
So about a 2nd and 6. Run up the middle. Nice run there. Let's see if he's close enough for the 1st down.
Number 41, Tate Kimball.
That was Tate Kimball.
By number 4, Isaiah Young.
See if they give him the 1st down. It looks like it's from here. It looks far enough, but now they moved it back a little bit, so it may be. They're going to say 3rd and 1. It's not going to be a full one, that's for sure. From just inside the.
Just shy of the 1st down will be
about the 30s.
For the Mustangs.
38-yard line.
That's some good hard running by Tate, the freshman.
So Bohm back in there. And we have a flag thrown. I don't know if more. I saw Vista Peak jump. So we're going to see who they. This is a dead ball. Offsides on Vista Peak, so that will bring up the 1st down for Fort Morgan.
Yeah, if we have to take advantage of their mistakes to get some offense going, we'll do that. We'd much rather be able to dominate, but right now anything's going to give us some momentum going
That'll
Fort
be a
Morgan's
first
way.
down for Morgan on the 32-yard
So
line.
from the 32, 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. Receiver split right and left. Eye backfield behind Schneider. Schneider looks back. He's going to be a lob downfield. And incidental contact apparently with Austin Cosme trying to go up the
Sanusi on the coverage.
just off the right of the line, and no flag thrown.
Yeah, I don't think he really stepped in front of him. I think the Fort Morgan's guy was looking back and ran right into him. He needs to make sure he gets by that guy because they're bringing all their safeties up to stop the run. We've got to be able to pass, otherwise we're going to be in deep trouble.
So Fort Morgan receivers left and right. Eye backfield. It's going to be a handoff to Bummer on the left side, but there is nothing there. There will be a no gain on this. That's going to bring up, looks like probably 3rd and 10 again for Fort Morgan. So Vista Peak bringing everybody up to stop the run, and it's working right now for them.
Absolutely, because our power backs, Bohm and McBride, each ran 3 times, and net for all 6 runs is 1 yard.
So receivers left and right, eye backfield, Schneider under center. Schneider looks to pass. He's being pressured by Vista Peak. He is going to be brought down for a sack by Vista Peak. They're going to mark it clear back to the 40. Let's say the 40-yard line is where they're going to be, so that's going to be an 8-yard loss. So it's going to be about 4th and 18 from the Vista Peak 40.
Number 10, Daniel Barrow was also in there.
So 2:08 and counting in the first half. Vista Peak up 12-0. So Fort Morgan will have to punt the ball. Tony Swetzik in. 2 punt for Fort Morgan. Noah Butler down. Oh, and the punt is blocked. And this may not be good. It's going to be picked up. It's going to be picked up by Vista Peak.
When it rains, it pours, and right now everything's going wrong for the Mustangs. They can't capitalize on Vista Peak's mistakes, and Vista Peak just keeps forcing mistakes on the Mustangs.
So now Fort Morgan will have to, they'll go on defense, and they need to hold Vista Peak out of the end zone in the last minute 42 of the first half. So Vista Peak is a 1st and 10 from about the 38-yard line. Minute 42 to go. Pass out to the flat, out to the right, to the 35, to the 30, and breaking tackle. He's down inside the 30, inside the 25. That's going to be enough for a Vista Peak first down. Looks like he's going to mark out about the 23-yard line. So now what Fort Morgan was looking to do here right now, they need to stop Vista Peak.
Tackled by number 72, Uriah.
So 3 receivers left and 1 right backfield. A pitch out to the right. And finally a nice tackle by the Fort Morgan defense. And it's going to be a loss of 1, I guess, back to the 24.
22, Nathan Miller.
That'll be 2nd and 11.
Shy of the line of scrimmage by number 8, Richard Herrera.
It looks like Vista Peak has taken a timeout with a minute 19 to go.
2nd and 11 for the Bison.
In the first half. We'll give you some of the sponsors here that have made this season and game possible today. B&B Appliance. B&B Appliance carries a full line of in-stock and ready-to-be delivered Whirlpool appliances. With the world moving towards more green energy, it's time for you to recycle the old and get in with the new. New appliances, that is, at B&B Appliance. Hackley Building Center, your one-stop center for home improvement projects. Hackley Building Center, located at 1402 Mill Street in Brush, is your one-stop shop for flooring, paint, tools, appliances, and more. Stubbs Gas and Oil. If you're tired of the same old lunch and dinner menu, switch it up and pick up something new from the hot and cold deli selection at Stubbs Gas and Oil. Find great food at low prices at Stubbs Gas and Oil in Wiggins.
absolutely got to thank all our sponsors because that's what makes it possible.
So Noah Butler back, and he throws it down the right sideline. Incomplete pass.
Butler's pass.
So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 11
incomplete. Number 4, Justin
from the 24 for the Bison. So Fort Morgan had their receiver recover. The receiver covered. Looks like McBride is coming out. I don't know if Vista Peak has called a timeout. I believe it's just for Toby McBride to come out. He's a little slow walking here. I don't know if he got his bell rung or just what happened for sure, but he's coming out.
Looks like he has maybe a little limp on his left side.
Test.
Holding his calf muscle and maybe his ankle.
So 3rd and 11 from the 24 for Vista Peak with 1:13 to go in the first half. Vista Peak leading 12-0. 2 receivers left. 1 right, high backfield. Noah Butler, and it was incomplete. It was going to be a screen pass, but it was dropped at the 25-yard line. So that'll bring up a 4th and 11 from the 24 on that incomplete pass.
That was a well-conceived play. I think they would have gained big yards on that because Fort Morgan was all-out rushing, trying to get to the quarterback. And lucky for Fort Morgan, the pass was a little bit low and the receiver couldn't pick it up.
So that brings up a 4th and 11 for Vista Peak. So Fort Morgan needs to hold here with 1:10 to go in the first half. High backfield beside Butler. Receivers left, and Butler rolls out to his right. He looks to pass, but he is going to be dropped and fumbles the ball. And it's still a fight for it on the far side. So we'll see where the ball ended up. It looks like it will be...
Fumble on the play, recovered by number 15.
Doesn't matter. It was a 4th down anyway, and recovered by Eric Kimball with 1:01 to go in the first half. So Fort Morgan, we'll see what they can do in a minute and 1 second from the 37-yard line. They come out. 2 receivers right and 2 left, I believe, and single back in the backfield. They're waiting to get the chain set.
The head coach for Vista Peak was chewing on the head official, and unfortunately he was listening to him instead of just saying, enough, let's play football.
So 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan from the 37. 2 receivers right and 2 left, I believe. Single back in the backfield next to Schneider. Schneider calls out the signals. Pass out into the flat, and it's going to be over the head of Eric Kimball, so an incomplete pass.
Schneider's pass intended for number 15, Eric Kimball, fell incomplete.
So that'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 from the 37.
2nd and 10 for the
for Fort Morgan.
Mustangs.
Under a minute, 56.3 seconds to go in the first half. Central Auto Parts. You want your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape, so make sure you take care of them. Purchase the best quality parts and accessories at great prices at your local Napa store. Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan. So 2 receivers right, 2 left. Single backfield. Schneider in shotgun formation. Gets the snap, looks downfield, heaves it down the right sideline, and it's going to be over the head of Eric Fluhoff at about the 30-yard line. So 3rd and 10
for number 29, Eric Fluhoff fell
for Fort Morgan from the 37-yard line.
It reminds me of a play earlier in the season where Fluhoff, I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, Fluhoff kept running, and Schneider put enough under it that he was able to catch it in stride. The defender quit after about 30 yards and just stopped. Fluhoff was behind him, but the ball was underthrown.
So 3rd and 10 from the 37 for Fort Morgan. 50 seconds to go in the second period. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Schneider looks over the middle for a throw, and it is behind his intended receiver, Isaiah Lopez. So that's going to bring up a 4th and 10 for the Mustangs after that incomplete pass. So 45.1 seconds to go in the first half. Vista Peak leading 12-0. So Joey Schneider just a little bit off on his passes, getting a little bit of instruction from head coach Harrison Chisholm. So Tony Swetzik in to punt once again, and it's a high over in his head. It's back off the 10 at the 5, and he just goes down on it with 43 seconds to go. So that is going to be Vista Peak ball at about the 4-yard line, so it's going to be 1st and goal from the 4 for Vista Peak.
I would say this first half has gone from a disaster to a catastrophe on that. 2 huge plays on the punt team. The offensive line not being able to get anything going as far as blocking, and the defense becoming more and more porous as the game goes along.
So 1st and goal for Vista Peak. 3 receivers split left and 1 right. Back to Butler. He takes it up the middle, but he is going to be surrounded quickly. It's going to be a loss on the play, back to about the 5-yard line.
For a short loss.
With 36.3 seconds to go, that'll be a loss of 1, so it'll be about 2nd and 5. For Vista Peak, it looks like they've taken a timeout.
Looks like they have 1 timeout left in the half.
So some more sponsored messages here. Mr. D's Ace Farm and Home Center. For all your farm and ranch supplies, including Purina feeds and everything. Stop by any of the Ace stores in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and their newest location at 122 Custer Street in Brush. Equitable Savings and Loan, Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan. With locations in Fort Morgan and Brush, they have the financial solutions for you. So 2nd and goal for Vista Peak. From the 5-yard line. 3 receivers left, 1 right back. Now it's going to be a run. It's going to be a pitch out to the left, but it's going to be dropped for a loss. Nice play there by the Mustangs. That's going to be a loss back to the 9-yard line. That's a loss of 4.
Number 2, Isaiah Lopez. I'll bring up
So the clock, this will be their last timeout for Vista Peak with 27. Well, there was 20 seconds left with 27 seconds on the clock. Now there's 30.2. So,
not sure on that. I guess Fort Morgan's defense is maybe picking a good time to make a final stand, and that was Vista Peak's last timeout. So I'm guessing they're going to be passing, because if it's a run, they're not going to be able to get back up and run another play.
So the defense doing a good job right now, keeping Butler somewhat contained as far as the run goes today. So it's going to be a 3rd and goal from about the 9-yard line for Vista Peak with 30.2 seconds to go in the first half. Coach Langford out talking to his defensive lineup. He comes back off the field. Now we have 3 receivers right, 1 left with a single back next to Butler in shotgun formation. And he gets it. He rolls out to his right. It's going to be a screen pass. Nice screen pass. And into the end zone for Vista Peak with 24.8 seconds to go in the first half.
Touchdown pass from Butler to number 88, DJ.
That was a touchdown to Ortiz. That makes it score 18-0 on a 9-yard wide receiver screen pass from Butler to Ortiz. 24.8 seconds to go in the first half. We'll see what Vista Peak is going to go for 2.
It appears so.
2-point conversion attempt.
So they have 3 receivers right, single backfield, one receiver left. Butler out to his right, and he is hit as he throws, and it's going to be incomplete, I believe.
Butler's
So that's where the
number 88 DJ Ortiz fell incomplete. The
score will stand 18-0 in favor of
Vista Peak.
Vista Peak on a 9-yard pass to Ortiz from Noah Butler.
So first half is pretty much all Vista Peak Bison. The good news, none of their extra points came, so Fort Morgan's down 3 scores, but if with 3 scores, can definitely take the lead.
It's not out of reach by any means, but they've got to come out and start doing some blocking if they want to start getting back into this game. They're in connecting on some of the passes because the receivers are open. He's just not quite getting it to them. So Vista Peak will kick off. Looks like Kyle Daniels and Tate Kimball, I believe, are back at about the 10-yard line.
Number 41, Tate Kimball, set to kick off for the Bison.
So far, they have not kicked it deep. It's been a squib kick every time.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Fort Morgan doesn't have a hands team out there every play. Obviously showed that they want to onside at times.
So they're going to onside it again and touched by Fort Morgan. I hope they got on it. I don't know who did. It's down at the 40.
Now it's a matter of who's been in the weight room longer because 2 guys got to the ball at the same time.
And now they're fighting over who has the ball. We'll see. They haven't told us yet exactly who has come away with it. With 19.5 seconds to go, it looks like it may be. I have not seen an indication from the ref yet.
They're still trying to talk about it.
But another basically onside kick that seems to be working for Vista Peak. I don't know what they're discussing, where they are going to go for lunch after the game, maybe. I'm not sure. Equitable, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Equitable Savings and Loan. Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan with locations in Fort Morgan and Brush. They have the financial solutions for you. So we're finally going to get it's a dead ball personal foul on Vista Peak. First down for Vista Peak, I guess.
So they got the ball, but we're a little chippy after the play and got a penalty called against them. So we get some moral victory for both teams somehow out of that.
So we'll see if Vista Peak airs it out here a little bit, since there will be a 1st and 10
Vista Peak did
for
recover
Vista
the
Peak.
kick. It'll be a first down for the Bison.
Trying to see where they're marking it at their own 45-yard line.
I think their coaches will want to tell them to knock it off, because if they do have a chance to get in the playoffs, they don't want to be missing one of their valuable players because of something stupid they do in a game that may be getting out of hand anyway.
So the Fort Morgan defense out on the field once more. 1st and 10 for Vista Peak. Noah Butler in at quarterback, only a junior, 6'1", 170. Sends receiver left and 2 right with the back in the backfield. Now it'll be 2 backs. One just came in. Noah Butler in the shotgun formation. Now we have a rep on this side. And the Fort Morgan Mustangs will take a timeout with 19.5 seconds left. This Fort Morgan timeout is brought to you by Early Toyota East. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Early Toyota East at 1209 Main Street in Fort Morgan will professionally fit you into the car or truck of your choice. Serving all of Northeast Colorado, Early Toyota East. So Coach Langford out with the defensive crew, just probably giving them a heads up on what to look for if Vista Peak looks to throw the ball downfield.
Usually on defense, you have one of your defensive linemen that's assigned to, be cognizant of the fact that maybe they're going to run a screen and have him, stay back and cover that screen. I'm thinking Vista Peak running a screen right now would have a lot of success because all the safeties and corners are playing deep, and the linemen are going to be trying to get upfield.
So 1st and 10 for Vista Peak. Once again, one receiver to the left, three right, excuse me. Butler in the shotgun formation. Stands at about his 35, 40-yard line. He looks to throw it deep, but he is going to be brought down. Nice job there by the Fort Morgan defense. So that should be the last play of the first half.
77,
Henry Weimer brings him down. It's going to be a no gain.
2nd and 10 for the
They do
Bison.
get a spike the ball. It shows, though, with no time left on the
And
clock.
that'll bring a close to our first half of football with your
So we'll
score.
see if they're
Fort
gonna-
Morgan Mustangs 0, Vista Peak Bison.
See, they're going to put time back on the clock. I can see that coming right now.
Sorry.
So it'll be a 2nd and 10 from the 45. He did scramble back to the 45. So they're trying to see how much time was left on the clock, I believe.
1
or
second. Or 0.8.
0.8 seconds to go. So they'll bring up a 3rd down and 10 for Vista Peak. So they're going to try and get
Time for one more snap.
it deep. 3 receivers left. One right. And now we are stopping the clock again. I guess the Fort Morgan Mustangs.
Vista Peak in a strange formation with a lot of receivers off to the left, and coach just wanted to go over and make sure they're all on the same page. I was thinking during that play that maybe the referees can get together at half and go over their game plan and maybe figure it out too, because they've had kind of a sloppy game. Can't blame them on the clock because the clock keeper is provided by the home team. That's been run poorly, and a lot of calls where they have to come together and kind of figure out what the call is instead of clearly making the call and being decisive.
So 0.8 of a second left to go. This last minute of play has taken about 10. So Vista Peak coming out. Let's see, we have 3 receivers coming left, it looks like. One to the right. Shotgun formation for Vista Peak, and they are from their 45-yard line, 3rd and 10.
This is where you'd run your double reverse pass play.
So Noah Butler, he tries to get it downfield, and it's going to be a complete pass to about to the 45. He was hit when he threw it. So that finally will bring the first half to a close with Vista Peak up 18-0. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on
Pass number 22.
B106 and B106.com. With Kevin Rohde, this is Brian Nickel back at Vista Peak High School in Aurora, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs find themselves down 18-0 going into the start of the second half. A game in which the Mustangs need to win if they have any aspirations of getting into the playoffs. They were slim at best with the teams ahead of them, at least 2 of them winning last night. So Fort Morgan needs to come out and get their offense in gear, and defense need to keep doing their stellar job. They've really done a pretty good job containing Vista Peak. So Fort Morgan will receive the opening kickoff.
Fort Morgan again without their hands team out there. Got a couple linemen up front. Just kind of makes you wonder. I guess the second tier has moved up a little bit, but if they haven't kicked long yet, I would think that they're waiting for us to adjust before they quit kicking onside.
Vista Peak, number 22, Nathan Miller.
So Vista Peak ready to kick off. Number 22, Nathan Miller. We have Kyle Daniels deep, and it's going to be another onside kick. This time it's going to be recovered by Fort Morgan.
And ball's going to be recovered by
That is
Fort
going to
Morgan
be a
Mustangs.
1st and 10
First down and 10 from about the
for the
40-yard
Fort
line.
Morgan Mustangs at the 47-yard line, 48-yard line.
Fritzel was on the recovery.
So nice starting field position to start the second half for the Mustangs. Just see if they can take advantage of it.
Well, I would say that Vista Peak has a lot of confidence in their defense if they're kicking onside and trying to give Fort Morgan that good a field position every time.
So 1st and 10, right over the right side, gets it across the 50.
Number 25,
and then
Jared
push
Bowman
back.
with the carry, tackled by number 54, Tim Clem.
Jared Bohm with the carry. See if they mark it. Look like they're putting it right on the 50-yard line, I believe.
3, that'll be second down and 7.
Yeah, it's going to be just across. It'll be a gain of 3, so second and 7 from the Vista Peak 49-yard line. 49-yard line on that 3-yard run by Jared Bohm. So full house backfield, nobody wide for the Mustangs. Schneider hands it off again over the left side to Jared Bohm, and he gets it down for about another maybe 2 yards to the 46-yard line.
Tackled by number 54, Tim Clem after a short gain.
So that'll be about 3rd and 5 for Fort Morgan from the 46-yard line.
Fort Morgan not showing that they're willing to adjust it all at half and are sticking with their game plan, hoping to soften up the defense. But right now they're putting 8 up on the box and stuffing the run.
Schneider under center. It's going to be a fake handoff. This time rolls out to his right, being chased, throw downfield. Oh, nice catch by Eric Kimball at the 35, and then hit hard just inside the 30. A nice pass to Eric Kimball.
Pass caught by number 15.
That's down at the 29-yard line, so nice third down play there by the Mustangs down to the 29.
And that came at an opportune time. Nice throw. He waited for the receiver to get behind the defender and feathered it in there. Nice throw.
So nice first down pickup there by the Mustangs. 1st and 10 at the 29, full house backfield. No receivers wide. He hands it off again over the left side to Bowman. He breaks it outside to the 25, 20. He's going 15, 10, 5. Touchdown for the Mustangs. 10-17 to go in the third period. Jared Bowman takes it in from 29 yards out for the Fort Morgan touchdown. So nice run there.
Couldn't ask for a better start to the second half, and Fort Morgan showing that they don't have any quit in them.
So now Franny Gonzalez in for the extra point try. Snap back, ball down, kick is going to be off way to the right. So that's going to leave it 18-6
That'll make the score
in favor of Vista Peak. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on B106 and B106.com. Back at Vista Peak High School with Kevin Rohde, this is Brian Nickel, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs have just put a touchdown up on the board, now trailing 18-6 with 10-17 to go in the second half. Nice run by Jared Bohm of 25 yards. So Fort Morgan now, Franny Gonzalez, 2 kickoff to Vista Peak. They have 2 receivers back at about the 10. So Franny Gonzalez has the ball teed up, approaches, puts his foot into it. Nice high kick by Franny, taken at the 5, up to the 10, to 15, to the, that's where it's going to be a flag thrown. He gets it out to about the 15, but there is going to be a block in the back, it looks like, on Vista Peak.
You know you're guilty when you're already pleading with the official before he's got the flag out of his pocket.
Not a good sign. So the initial mark is at the 16-yard line, but there's an illegal block in the back on Vista Peak.
Spot foul there, so they'll take it halfway to the goal line from there. At half, one of the activities that we failed to mention, and don't know how I missed this, the cheerleaders are right in front of us from Vista Peak. Cheerleaders have their conference competition this Friday in Elizabeth, and then they'll be going to state sometime in December.
Good for them. That's good to hear. So 1st and 10 for Vista Peak, and the ball is on the ground. We'll see what happens. We'll see who covered it at about the 5. It looks like Fort Morgan, according to Jared Bohm, has covered the ball.
I'm thinking number 15 might be taking a break because he got thrown for a penalty and then another flag because his helmet came off.
So we're trying to see. They haven't given a definite. Looks like they are Fort Morgan ball.
It just depends on the penalty, whether there's a penalty between Fort Morgan and then Vista Peak, or whether there's 2 penalties on Vista Peak.
So we'll see what they're coming up with here on the
And if it's a double personal foul on him, he'll be ejected and won't be able to play in the next game, which Vista Peak might need him.
Wolf Auto Center, the small town dealer with the hometown values, with locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, Holyoke, Sydney, and Scottsbluff. They're large enough to serve your needs and small enough to know your name.
It looks like the penalties against Fort Morgan rather than against Vista Peak.
So we'll see. Apparently something unsportsmanlike conduct on Fort Morgan, unsportsmanlike on Vista Peak. So they will offset. So it'll be Fort Morgan ball at the 5-yard line.
Well, lucky for Fort Morgan, they don't get caught and penalized for that unsportsmanlike conduct. They need to be careful when they have breaks like this.
10:06 to go. First and goal for the Mustangs from the 5. So they need to punch this in here. With 10:06 to go in the third period. Now the referee's finally coming back over. He's been having a chat with the Vista Peak coaching staff. Now he's talking with his other umpire. I guess we're ready to go here now. Jose Fadoa and Toby McBride with Jared Bohm lined up behind them. Schneider under center. It's going to be a handoff to Bohm over the right side. Not much there, but he keeps driving. They're going to give him maybe progress to the 4. So it'll be a gain of 1. So it'll be second and goal from the 4 for the Mustangs. So possession the Mustangs absolutely have to take advantage of here if they want to try to get back into this game and win it.
Just like that, they can be only 5 points down with a touchdown and an extra point. Be in business to score a touchdown and win the game.
So full house backfield again. For Fort Morgan to hand off over the right side to Jared Ballman. It looks like he is, if not right, they're not going to put him in. It looks like it's going to be right at the goal line. So it's going to bring up third and goal from inside the 1. They were looking real close.
Carry, tackled just short of the goal line.
Just short.
Third and goal for the Mustangs.
So we'll see what Fort Morgan, I can't imagine, will run much different than what they just did.
You certainly hope that they go with their strength, which is one of those 2 strong running backs, Balmer, McBride, right up the middle.
So Fort Morgan full house backfield again. Schneider under center. Takes the snap and it's handed off to McBride, and it looks like he goes in. He goes in for the Fort Morgan touchdown with 8:36 to go in the second period from 1 yard out. Toby McBride in brings the score to 18-12 with the extra points here coming up. So McBride hops over the pile long enough to get the ball across the line.
Go ahead.
He gets a touchdown for the Mustangs.
Now we'll see what kind of character and morale that Vista Peak has, if they're just going to cave in the rest of the half now that they've had some adversity, or whether they're going to come back and play strong.
So Franny Gonzalez in for the extra try-point. Ball down, kick is up, and it looked good. It is good for Franny Gonzalez.
A flag though, I'm not sure what that's from.
I don't have a flag.
Kick is good. There's a flag on the play.
See who it's against. They're pointing towards Vista Peak, but I'm not sure just what.
Pointing towards the sideline as if, how could they call that from there? But we'll see what the penalty is.
Not real decisive here. They throw a flag. You think you know what you're throwing the flag for. You shouldn't take this long to.
I think they're deciding whether it goes on the kickoff or whether Fort Morgan has to kick over, or what the deal is. They keep pointing to the Vista Peak sideline. The officials are coming to explain whatever this was.
So anyway, with 8:36 to go in the third period, Fort Morgan now trails 18-13.
Turns out it was a personal foul against Vista Peak. That's way too many personal fouls and unsportsmanlike conduct for my taste in a high school football game.
Yep.
Football to me is all about overcoming adversity, and here Vista Peak's going to have an opportunity to overcome their their adversity of giving up 13 points in the first 3.5 minutes of the second half, and now they're in a fight. Fort Morgan's battle is to keep up that momentum and not let Vista Peak get their momentum back. So it's kind of an exciting time.
So they have them kicking from the. It's got to be different than the 40. There's a 15-yard penalty.
Number 21, Chris Mitchell.
Personal foul on. We do that on Vista Peak.
My guess is that he's going to be able to kick this one into the end zone unless they decide to take advantage of the field position and go for onside. But I think with all the momentum your way, you're going to want to keep them as deep as possible.
So kicking into the end zone. The Vista Peak has two receivers back right at the goal line. Franny Gonzalez has the ball teed up and ready to kick off. Approaches, kicks it, and it will be out of the end zone. Nice kick by Franny Gonzalez. So Fort Morgan Mustang defense now up to hold Vista Peak as Vista Peak gets their second shot at the ball in the second half. Starting 1st and 10 from their 20 with 8:36 to go in the third period. So Vista Peak already has their receivers split left and right. Two backs in the backfield on either side of their quarterback. Quarterback is throwing out here to the side, and it's going to be caught by Ortiz, but immediately taken down by the Fort Morgan Mustangs. So it's going to be a gain of about, let's see if they mark it out about the 23, so that'll be a gain of 3.
Fort Morgan's defense playing much more spirited. The whole team coming over to congratulate the tackler on that play. That's the spirit that we like to see.
So Fort Morgan with the momentum on their side right now, trailing 18-13 with 8 minutes to go in the third period. Snap back, and it's on the ground, and he is down at the 19-yard line. So Butler just falls on the ball. So that's going to be a loss of 4. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 11 from the 19.
Sometimes adversity brings out the best in us, and sometimes adversity brings out the worst. And it looks like they're kind of falling apart a little bit here, and hopefully Fort Morgan can continue to take advantage of that.
So 3rd down for Vista Peak at the 19-yard line. Receivers left and right. Noah Butler in the shotgun formation with 2 backs in the backfield, one on either side of him, and he steps back, and he is going to be brought for a sack by Richard Herrera. Richard Herrera comes off the right side and sacks Noah Butler. He sacks him back out about the 14, but now we have a flag someplace.
Yeah, it looks like the umpire called a holding play. The Fort Morgan players are saying decline it. Certainly no point in giving them another shot. Let's force them to punt from the shadow of their goal line and get it back to our offense, which has the momentum.
So there he got it. He never did say what he just said the Fort Morgan declined. He never said what the play was or what the foul was. So it'll be 4th and 11.
Actually more like 16.
Excuse me, yes.
Lost 5 on that play.
They are from the 11. So 4th and 16 for Vista Peak. Nice stop here by the Mustangs. Snap back, and it's going to be over the head. It's going to be a safety for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. So that will bring it to the score to 18-15, and Fort Morgan will receive the ball. So everything going right here right now for the Mustangs. So we're going to take the short break here on B106 and B106.com. Okay, back at Vista Peak High School in Aurora.
To receive the kick for the Mustangs.
The Vista Peak will kick off, and they will, I don't know if they will punt or try to kick, they will kick off from the 20 after the safety. So Fort Morgan should get good field position out of this exchange here.
wondering if they're going to try an onside kick. At this point, obviously they're going to punt rather than kick, and that's a little harder to onside punt. But it's also legal, and you just have to be careful because that's what they're going to do. They're going to stick with their game plan, too.
So it has to go at least 10 yards. It'll be a live ball. 6:54 to go in the third period. Vista Peak up 18-15, and he will punt. And Kyle Daniels at the 35 to the 40. To the 45, he breaks it outside, but he is going to be brought down at the 47-yard line, 48-yard line. We'll call it the 48. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Mustangs.
Great field position, down only 3 points now. A field goal, which is very possible, can tie this and may come into play. That safety, a huge play for the Mustangs.
So 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan from the 48-yard, their own 48. So they've hand off to Padola down the right side. He's hit at the 45, gets across midfield. He's going down the right sideline. He gets it down inside the 40, inside the 30. They're going to mark him out just outside the 30. He stepped out at the 31. So that will be a first down for Fort Morgan after that big run by Jose Padola down to the 31-yard line.
Very nice run. And now we're hearing the Fort Morgan fans screaming, and I don't know if they're as loud as the Vista Peak fans were first half, but hopefully you're able to still hear the game out there.
So Fort Morgan now full house backfield and a handoff over the right side. And that's going to be a run down inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. And that was Jared Bohm taking it down to the 23. So that'll bring up 2nd and 2 from the 23 for the Mustangs.
Fans, if you're wondering why the crowd noise is so loud, Vista Peak has no press box, so we're down in the crowd with the rest of the people today.
So Fort Morgan handoff to Tate Kimball across the 20. He gets it down to inside the 15 for the first down for the Mustangs. We're going to say they're going to mark it at the 15 for Fort Morgan.
Number 41, Tate Kimball on the carry.
So nice run there by the freshman running back. So 1st and 10 from the 15 for the Mustangs.
Yeah, the freshman running hard certainly gives us hope for the next couple of years with McBride and Kimball in the backfield.
So Fort Morgan in the full house backfield once more. This time it's going to be a handoff to Padola up the middle, and it's going to be at least a 5-yard gain. He can get it down to the 10, maybe even inside. They're going to mark it about the 9.
That's a nice little run by Padola. Normally it doesn't run up the middle. It's good to see him hitting the leather there and giving some positive yardage.
So it looks like about a 2nd and 5. Just inside the 10. Fort Morgan in their full house backfield once again. This time it's going to be to Tate Kimball over the right side. He's inside the 5. He's into the end zone for a Fort Morgan touchdown. I'm not sure if he got the touchdown or not. I have not seen an indication. I'm not sure what.
Penalty flag over on the 10-yard line on the sideline.
Okay.
It might be a hold.
They seem to think it's against. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say who it's against. They're still discussing this. Well, they're marking it off against Fort Morgan. So it must be a holding call on the Mustangs. So that'll push him back to the 20. So that'll be 2nd and 15 from the 20 for Fort Morgan. So full house backfield once again. Hand off to Kimball over the right side. He breaks down to the 20, down inside the 15. It's going to be marked down at about the 14, so it'll be a 6-yard gain. It's about a 3rd and 9 now from the 14-yard line.
That's a nice hard run by Kimball again. It's nice to see them giving him that opportunity, and the line seems fired up. The whole team seems fired up.
It's now a 3rd and 9 from the 14. Full house backfield once again. Snyder under center. He takes it. It's going to be a fake over the middle. It's going to be a pass. And caught in the end zone. By Eric Kimball. It was out of the hands of Austin Cosman. And then into the hands of Eric Kimball. So touchdown for Eric Kimball.
Unbelievable play there.
With 4:48 to go in the third period.
First receiver had the ball, was just about to bring it in, got hit hard, and the ball popped right into Kimball's hands.
So Jose Padoa now out for the point after try. Fort Morgan now leads this game 21-18 with 4:48 to go after that pass to Eric Kimball. The kick is up. It looks good, and it is good for Bernie Gonzalez. So with 4:48 to go in the third period, Fort Morgan 22, Vista Peak 18 on B106 and B106.com. Back at Vista Peak High School, where the tide has turned here, Fort Morgan now leads 22-18 with 4:48 to go in the third period after a 14-yard pass that was intended for Austin Cosman, but ended up in the hands of Eric Kimball. So it still counts as a touchdown. We'll take it any way we can get it. So Franny Gonzalez now with a deep kick, and it's going to be back taken at and dropped inside the goal line. So nice kick there by Franny Gonzalez. So that'll be
First down, Bison at the 20.
first down for Vista Peak with 4:48 to go in the third period, now trailing 22-18 to the Mustangs.
I'm thinking the Vista Peak coaching staff's going to want to check those footballs and make sure there's no Vaseline or slick them on there, because certainly having a hard time holding on the ball the second half, and they had some trouble with it first half as well.
So Vista Peak, two receivers right, one left, two backs in the backfield with Butler, and it's on the ground again, but Butler picks it up and goes out to the left, across the 25 to the 30, 35, still going, and steps out of bounds on the far sideline.
On the keeper for a long gain and a Bison first
So
down.
that'll be enough for a first down. Let's see, they're going to mark it out about the 38-yard line, so it's going to be an 18-yard gain. So first and 10 from the 38 for Vista Peak.
Very nice run.
So Noah Butler again over the left side, but he's not going to make it to the 40. He might have got one out to the 49. So he'll bring up a second and 9 from the 39 for Vista Peak. Nice defense there by.
Butler on the keeper for no gain.
Actually, they're going to call him no gain.
Yeah, Butler definitely not living up to his reputation as far as statistics. Passing, he's doing kind of what he used to do, but rushing, he's really not putting out very many big numbers. That's his first run, over 10 yards for the day.
Now Vista Peak with a second and 10 from the 38-yard line. Two receivers right, one left. Noah Butler pitches it back, and he's got a little bit of running room, but not much. He's going to be stopped maybe at the, he's going to be just short of the 40-yard line. See where they mark it if they give him enough to the 40. Looks like it's going to be a gain of 1 to the 39.
Tyler Brown. Good
So it'll be 39 from the 39 for
Alexander Mine.
Vista Peak. A nice stop there by Alex Mai.
Bring up 3rd and 9.
Fort Morgan's playing much more fundamental defense. They're wrapping up and making good tackles and flying to the ball, and that's what the coaches teach them, I know, because that's what I hear from the sidelines.
So third down, two receivers left and one right, another pitch back. It's going to be a reverse coming back this way, but it's going to be dropped for a loss back at the 33-yard line. So that reverse goes absolutely nowhere for Vista Peak. The only place it went was backwards. And that was back at the 33, so that's going to bring up about a 4th and 15 from the 33 for Vista Peak.
Yeah, on that one, I don't know if I'd want to be the guy who gets the second pitch when, as soon as I catch the ball, I see Toby McBride squaring in to lay a lick on me.
So Vista Peak 2 punt. Looks like Kyle Daniels back about the 31. See if Vista Peak's snap is any better than it was last time. And it's a short. It's going to be a fake. And it looks like he's going to be brought down well short of the first down. He doesn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Wow. Yeah, he lost another 4 yards on that. I'm understanding the concept of fate favors the bold, and you want to go for it. But now when it's 4th and 15 deep in your own territory, you don't want to give the opposing team a handout like this.
And trailing by 4. I could see maybe if they were up 20 points or something and trying this, but 1st and 10 for the Mustangs from the 35-yard line. With 2:10 to go in the third period, Bohm over the right side. He is going to be dropped for a 1-yard loss back to the 36. So it'll bring up 2nd and 11 after that loss of 1.
2nd and 10.5.
So we'll see where we're going to try and bust it outside here a little bit, get a little bit more running room.
I'm not sure whether Baum's hand is bothering him. They have it taped up, and he doesn't seem quite as aggressive.
So handoff up the middle to Jose Fedora. And a flag down. I'm not sure that Jose did not take off just a split second early. We'll see what.
Yep, you're right on that.
Thought he had taken off just a split second and did, so that will bring up about 2nd and 16 now from the 41 after that penalty.
Fort Morgan doesn't have the offense to pick up, big yardage. They have some good big runs, but it's not a consistent thing. It's you pound, and sometimes you break free. You don't have 8, 9, 10-yard plays in your playbook. Although every play is designed to go for a touchdown, if you ask a coach.
2nd and 16 for the Mustangs from their 41-yard line. It's a pitch back to Tate Kimball. He gets it back inside the 40. And I think he lunges down inside the 35. He gets it down. See if he gets it back down to the 39-yard line. We'll say he does. So I'll bring up about 3rd and 9 from the.
Bring up 3rd and 9 for the Mustangs.
From the 34-yard line.
A very nice run. He seems to have really good vision and can find the holes and make people miss.
So a minute counting in here in the third period. Now we have one receiver left and one right. High backfield behind Schneider. Schneider's still under center, and he takes it. He looks to pass. He's being pressured. It's going to be a pass downfield, and it's going to be an incomplete pass. Nicely defended there by Vista Peak. So that was to Eric Fluhoff, but incomplete. So it'll bring up 4th and 9 again from the 34.
Fort Morgan will be passing. I've noticed the second half that Vista Peak is dropping back more guys on pass coverage. And, now we're going to take a timeout.
So timeout for Morgan. So we'll take one with them on with 45 seconds to go in the third period. Fort Morgan leading 22-18 on B106 and B106.com. Back at Vista Peak High School with Kevin Rohde. This is Brian Nickel, where the Mustangs find themselves ahead now 22-18 with 45 seconds to go in the third period on a 4th and 9 from the Vista Peak 34-yard line. So nobody in the backfield. Schneider, he is going to be sacked. They have no protection in the backfield whatsoever. So that will be a turnover on downs. He was sacked back at the 43-yard line.
And that was just the last thing you wanted to happen. And I think Coach has to tell him during that timeout, if you see the blitz coming, you just throw it out of bounds or do something. But fortunately he held on to the ball, but unfortunately Vista Peak gets great field position up on the 43.
So Vista Peak 1st and 10. From the 43, a run up the middle. And stopped short of the 45, it looks like.
Butler on the keeper for a short gain, tackled by most of the Mustangs.
Going to be a gain of, let's see if they mark it, we'll say the 45, so it'll be a gain of 2. So 2nd and 8 from the 45, from their own 45 for Vista Peak.
Those yards coming a lot harder for Vista Peak this second half as the Mustangs fly to the ball, gang tackle.
So 2 receivers right. Noah Butler with the ball, throws it downfield, and through the hands of the intended receiver, Sanusi.
Pass intended for number 1, Io Sanusi fell in.
So nice. It was a nice pass to him. It looked like it might have been a little bit behind him. So they'll bring up a 3rd down and 8 for Vista Peak.
And he might have heard that free safety coming up to put the hurt on him because he was going to get drilled if he caught that ball.
So 3rd and 8 for Vista Peak. 2 receivers right. Noah Butler has a back on either side of him, 1 receiver to the left. Now back splits out to the right, and Noah Butler is going to be taken down in the backfield, and he will be dropped. Let's see where they mark the progress to. They're going to say his progress, the first initial hit was at about the 37-yard line. So a loss of 8.
4th and 15, look for the fake punt again, Coach.
If it was me, I would say not. But that is going to be the end of the 3rd quarter with the Fort Morgan Mustangs leading 22-18 on B106 and B106.com. Okay, back at the start of the 4th quarter at Vista Peak High School with Kevin Rohde. This is Brian Nickel. The Fort Morgan Mustangs lead 22-18. Vista Peak facing a 4th and about 15 from their 37-yard line. So we'll see if they go ahead and decide they're going to punt this one away. It shocked me last time that they had a fake, but so we'll see what they have up their sleeve this time. It is a snap back, and this time it will be a punt. Nice punt downfield. It's going to be to Kyle Daniels. He is hit initially at the 35, and that's where he is finally taken down.
Number 11, Kyle Daniels fields the punt.
So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs, with 11:50 to go in the game.
First down, Mustangs.
This is where I'd like to see one of my favorite types of drives, 3 or 4 yards and at a time, and score a touchdown with about 10 seconds left in the game.
That would work for me. So 1st and 10 from they're going to mark it. He went down at the 35. They're marking it at the 34. I'm not sure how they came up with that spot, but or at the 24, excuse me, not the 34. So a pitch back to Kimball. He puts it on the ground. He falls on it. That's going to be back at about the 16-yard line.
Recovered by number 41, T. Kimball. Number 6
So through his hands and onto the ground, but he does recover. We'll call it on the 16-yard line.
Well, let's hope this doesn't come down to the last team that makes a mistake loses, because certainly Fort Morgan doesn't want to take those kind of chances. Now we're in a tough position with 2nd and 18 to go. But again, the important thing is to use up clock time.
So handoff over to the left side again to Kimball. He breaks it outside. Doesn't get much. Maybe a yard out to the 17. So they'll bring up 3rd and 17 from the 17 after that short run.
And they're sitting down in that end zone where Sotzig had the punt snapped over his head. We haven't had a lot of success on punting first half. Let's hope second half we can get that going if we need to.
So hopefully we can pick up some yardage here on 3rd down. McBride coming out. Fidoa's out. So Fort Morgan with a 3rd and 17. Kimball the long back. We have 2 receivers right and 1 left. It's a handoff, going to be a draw play to Kimball, and he breaks the first tackle. And there's going to be a flag in the backfield. So we'll see what that's all about, if that's a hold or...
Flag on the play.
Well, a hold at this point would be a killer. So that's going to put us down at about the 8-yard line.
I would guess they're probably going to decline it. This is going to bring up 4th.
That's true. Although the field position, hard to tell what they're going to do.
So they holding on Fort Morgan, and it was declined, so that will bring up a 4th.
This peak declines the penalty.
You got out to the 20 on that one. So.
Yeah.
Back deep to return the punt.
So 4th down for the Mustangs in the punt formation. Swetsig back at about the 5. Nice snap, a nice punt downfield by Swetsig. It's going to hit about the 45 and into the 35 into the hands of Noah Butler. And, if they let go of that, it's going to be another illegal tackle, but I don't see a flag anywhere.
Yeah, I think he had the jersey. It looked like he was up there, but as he spun around, it was clear it was jersey, and he didn't use that to tackle. So that's about the best we can expect to come out of that. And Fort Morgan's defense is going to have to get fired up and hold again.
So now Vista Peak with the ball once more, 1st and 10. Let's see where they're.
Like 48, 38.
38-yard line with 10:02 to go in the game. Fort Morgan leading 22-18. 2 receivers left, 1 right. High backfield, and he missed the handoff. So Butler cuts it out to the right, but he is going to be dropped possibly for a loss. Looks like maybe back to the 37. See where they finally come up with them. Where the loss is going to be. It's going to be a loss of 1.
Sometimes you have a lot of mistakes like that where you turn the wrong way when you're under pressure and under stress, and that might explain why they got beat so bad by some of the teams that they got beat by. As the pressure builds, it's harder to keep your concentration.
About 2nd and 11 from the 37 for Vista Peak. Handoff over the right side, and he is dropped inside the 35. They're throwing a flag. So we'll see what the flag is all about.
Let's hope it's not a face mask, but that looks like what it is.
Oh, man.
It's like face mask.
Maybe it's the 5-yard variety instead of the personal foul.
So we'll see what.
Not sure what the head official's up to. He seems to like he wants to talk to the players all the time. You know.
Looks like it's going to be just a 5-yard. 5-yard.
So bring up 2nd down.
Penalty. So I'll bring up 2nd down. Just about where they were, about a 2nd and 10. You know, we're going to call it, 2nd and 10 from just inside the 37-yard line, it looks like. So Vista Peak facing his 2nd down here, 2nd and 10. 3 receivers left, 1 right. Looking to pass out here in the flat, and it's going to be caught about the 37, out to the 40, and out to the 45. That's where it's going to be marked down about the 45-yard line. So it'll still bring up about a 3rd and 3. Another penalty. I didn't see what.
Personal foul.
Personal foul.
Helmet to helmet hit is what they're calling.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard when people are swinging around and but they want to protect the kids, and that's understandable.
So a 1st and 10 for Vista Peak at the Fort Morgan 40-yard line. Butler in the shotgun formation. 2 receivers, 2 backs next to him, a handoff up the middle. And that's going to be a game. The ball, we're diving on it like the ball had come loose. And we're going to see what happens here, who came up with it. Apparently, Vista Peak fell on it. That was a gain of 4 down to the 36. So we'll bring up a 2nd and 6 from the 36.
Good for game about 4. We'll bring out 2nd and 6.
Yeah, that was very lucky for them if, in fact, he did drop the ball.
So Vista Peak now faces a 2nd and 6 from the 36-yard line. Snap directly back to him, and he is going to be hit in the backfield and taken down. Nice defensive push by the Fort Morgan Mustang defense. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down. Let's see where they mark it. They're going to
back at the 38.
Mark it back to the 38. It's going to be a loss of 2. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 8 after that run by Noah Butler.
And they're pretty much in 4-down territory at this point, as they have in most of the game. They've only punted once.
7:25 to go in the 4th period. So this is where Fort Morgan
just to let you know, this is the last call.
Needs to make a big stand here. Butler in the shotgun formation, pass downfield. He runs up in the pocket and tries to get it out there, but it's over the head of Ortiz out about the 10 on that incomplete pass. That'll bring up a 4th and 8 for the Bison after that incomplete pass to Ortiz.
Yeah, sometimes when teams live by the big play, they die by the big play because you can't always get that, and especially when you absolutely need it, it's better to get those plays when they're looking for something else.
So a big down here for the Fort Morgan Mustang defense as it is 4th and 8 from the 38 of the Mustangs.
The Mustangs have to play smart and not give it to them with a penalty or anything like that.
So Butler back to pass. He looks to pass out here in the flat, and it's going to be an incomplete pass. So that's going to be a turnover on downs.
That's huge.
So big 4th down defensive play by the Mustangs.
Seemed like the receivers were completely confused on that. He kind of threw it at the feet of about 3 of them, and no one really had a chance to catch it.
So Morgan takes over. 1st and 10 from the 30, from their own 38. Now they just need to run a little time, but make some yardage as they do it. So full house backfield, Schneider under center, and it's going to be a handoff to Jared Bohm over the left side. And not much there. He might give him a yard out to the 39.
25, Jared Bohm on the carry.
So we'll say it's a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9 from the 39 for the Mustangs.
I've just got to believe that Jared's not feeling completely up to snuff because he's only in there for a play and then coming out, and he's not running with his normal, power style of wanting to run people over.
So Kimball and Bohm come out of the game. Fluhoff goes in. Kyle Daniels split out wide right. And Fluhoff to the left with an eye backfield. It's going to be a handoff up the middle, but no guard left there for the try. Let's see, they're going to mark him back.
Right on the carry, tackle in the backfield by number 22, Nathan.
They're going to mark him back at about the 36-yard line. This is going to be a loss of 3, so that's going to bring up
loss of about 4.
3rd and 12 from the
Mustangs.
36-yard line.
Yeah, I think Toby needs to learn that he's a north-south runner, and when he get that initial contact, instead of bouncing and giving up yardage, he needs to just power and try and get the yard or get back to the line of scrimmage.
So handoff over the right side for Kyle Daniels. And he is hit after about a 3-yard gain. We're going to give him back out to the 30.
Number 41, Tate Kimball, tackled.
About a 2-yard gain out to the 38.
6, Devin Regland.
So that'll bring up a 4th and 10.
That'll bring up 4th and down.
4th and 10 from the 38. So they have run a little time off the clock. We're down to 5:25. So we needed another good snap here. Back to Swetzig. It's a good snap. Swetzig, nice spiral kick downfield. They're caught at the 25-yard line.
Number 4, Isaiah Young up at 25.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for
Bison.
the Bison with 5:07 to go in the game.
And that's just totally weird. Because if you'd watch the whole game and then you watch that one play, you'd say, how does that fit in? Vista Peak doesn't even rush, doesn't even try and put any pressure on Swetzig. And then the guy has 10 yards free room and he fair catches it. Both totally conservative plays when you really need the ball moving towards their goal line.
So Vista Peak now 1st and 10 from their own 25. Have 2 receivers left and 1 right, and a handoff up the middle, and not much there. Nice defense, interior line there. Interior line work by the Mustang. Maybe he got it just across the 25.
Nathan Miller at the middle, good for a short gain. Tackle on the play.
Let's see if they even give him any.
It's going to be not much.
And we're going to call it 2nd and 10. That's going to be a no gain for Vista Peak. We're down to 4:40 and counting in the 4th quarter. Fort Morgan leading 22-18. So Fort Morgan needing what they need to do on defense right now. And Vista Peak taking a long time in their huddle. Now they have 2 receivers left, high backfield behind the quarterback. He's going to roll out to his right. and then taken down from behind. I believe that was Richard Herrera that got him from that right side.
Richard Herrera.
So that's going to bring up a third down. I can't see and it's about
after the loss,
about a 5-yard loss. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 15 for the Bison. Nice defensive hustle there by Richard Herrera.
Yeah, where was this defense first half, Coach? Because they're playing a great second half here.
So 3rd and 15. They have 3 receivers left. One back in the backfield. It's going to be a pass out here to the back, and it's going to be an incomplete pass right through the hands of his intended receiver, Isaiah Young. So that's going to bring up a 4th and 15 from the 20.
I'm thinking Isaiah Young.
Yeah, go ahead.
Isaiah Young's probably wishing he had another chance at that one. That's about the 3rd one he's dropped. Not sure whether he's real comfortable being in the defensive secondary with safeties coming up on him because he tends to look upfield right as the ball's getting there. But here they're going to punt again, and with 3.5 minutes left, I could see a fake punt. But now they're deep in their own territory.
So now 4th and 15 from the 21. In punt formation, he is back and does punt the ball. So it looks like it's off to the right and does go out of bounds. Not a real good punt, so excellent field position for the Mustangs.
Mustangs did a good job in that second half, or maybe Vista Peak did them the favor, taking the end zone so that Fort Morgan has the wind at their back and Vista Peak having to throw and kick into the wind at this point.
So Fort Morgan now on the 1st and 10. Let's see where they mark that ball. They mark it at the 35 with 3:30 to go in the game. Fort Morgan 1st and 10 from the 35. Full house backfield once again. Schneider under center. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. Nice little maybe 4-yard gain there. I'm trying to see if that's
Toby McBride on the carry.
Jose Fadoa, I believe, is who that was. I'm trying to see, is that 32 or 22?
I think it's 22 because
22. Jose
32 is a
Fadoa.
little bigger fella.
22. Jose Fadoa on the carry.
So a nice
So
carry.
we get him a gain of about 4. So we'll see 2nd and 6 from the 31 for the Mustangs. As Schneider waits for the back judge to start saying how far down the play clock is with 2:50 and counting. And there he goes. Full house backfield for the Mustangs. Going to be a handoff to Bohm, and he gets it down inside the 30. And
Now it looks like Vista Peak's going to call a timeout.
so we have a timeout by Vista Peak with 2:37 to go in the 4th period. Fort Morgan 22, Vista Peak 18 on B106 and B106.com. With Kevin Rohde, this is Brian Nickel back at Vista Peak High School in Aurora, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs lead 22-18, facing a 3rd and about 5 with 2:37 to go in the game.
Mustangs are about 5 yards away from winning this thing.
So full house backfield, and it's going to be to take Kimball around the left side, and he is not going to, he gets down inside the 30, but there is going to be another timeout taken
Taken on the play by number 4, Isaiah Young.
by Vista Peak. So we'll go ahead and take another timeout with him with 2:31 to go. Fort Morgan 22, Vista Peak 18 on B106 and B106.com. Fort Morgan facing a 4th and 5 from the 30, leading 22-18 with 2:31 to go in the full house backfield. Schneider under center. And it's a handoff around the right side. We'll see if he can bust it outside. Jose Fadoa, he's going to be down. It's going to be close. They're going to have to measure so that they will stop the clock. So we'll see if he can get that first down. If he's not inside the 25, he should have it.
Boy, that's going to be close. The linemen on Fort Morgan's side are pretty excited. They'd be killing the clock either way because it'd be Vista Peak's ball, but they're giving them the first
down. ACIs proudly supports local high school sports throughout Northeast Colorado. When you need ice, don't settle for just any old frozen water. Get AC Ice. You can find it at any local grocery or convenience store near you. Brush Grocery Cart. Stop, shop, and save on all your grocery needs and snacks for game time enjoyment. You can also pay your public service bill and access Western Union. Brush Grocery Cart, 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. And the clock continues to run. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs from just inside the 25. And it's going to be a handoff to Tate Kimmel around the left side. He breaks it up into the middle and still fighting for yardage. And you know that Vista Peak is going to be ripping at that ball. That's their 3rd and final timeout. So we'll see how much. They gave him about 4, so they'll bring up a 2nd and 6. He must be about the 21-yard line.
Good hard running, and he's running with both hands on the ball. He's been well coached through his career. I'd have to go back to that run by Fedora for the first down. He was hit in the backfield, probably for a 2-yard loss, and he just manned it up and fought off that tackle and ran upfield and made the first down. And I'm not sure if that's not the play of the game, Brian. That was an excellent personal effort to get that first down for his team.
Yeah, that was hard running there by Jose Padua. He's a senior, and he knows he wants to go out on a winning note, whether they get into the playoffs or not. He wants to go out on top with a winning game. Willow Coffee, Tea, and Smoothies, and G Sweets Bakery offering cookies, muffins, and sweetbreads made fresh daily. So now Fort Morgan with a 2nd and 6. Full house backfield. It's going to be a handoff to Jared Bomer on the left side. He breaks the first tackle. He needs to stay in bounds, though. And he doesn't.
Number 25, Jared Bohm on the carry.
He gets down inside the
54, Tim Clement.
He gets down inside the 20 to about the 17.
You know, if he would have gotten a first down, I would have forgiven him for going out of bounds. But as is, Fort Morgan's got a very makeable 3rd and 4, looks like.
It's like about a 3rd and 4 from the 18-yard line.
The breeze has definitely come up. You know, if I was a gambler on this play, I'd line up double tights and I'd release those tight ends into the end zone. You're going to catch them with not paying attention to that, but that's going to take the risk, and I'm not sure about it.
So full house backfield, and Toby McBride moved. That's going to set him back another 5. So that's going to make it about 3rd and 9 for Fort Morgan, and that's going to be back about the 14, where am I at here? About the 22-yard line.
Crowd kind of silent here, both groups, during this timeout, or during this penalty timeout. There's 8 yards to victory for Fort Morgan.
So a minute 42 to go in the 4th period. Fort Morgan with a full house backfield. Joey Schneider under center. He takes it, hands off to Jared Balmer on the left side. He gets it up and he gets it down. He's inside the 15, I believe. We're going to see where they mark this ball at.
Jared Baum on the carry.
Jared Baum looks like he might be just short.
Just short. 4th and 1.
So it's going to be about 4th and 1. You're right, Kevin. Down about just about the 6. So 4th and 1 at about the 16-yard line. So this is.
Clock should get down under a minute, down somewhere around 50, 45 seconds before they have to snap this ball and seal this victory off a 1-yard run.
So we've got full house backfield. Once again, Schneider under center, and it's a handoff to Jared Bulmer on the left end. He'll have the first down, and he may have more. He's into the end zone for a Fort Morgan touchdown. Jared Bulmer on the left end from 16 yards out with 48.7 seconds to go in the game. Fort Morgan now leads by 10, 28 to 18. I think Vista Peak was looking for that run up the middle, and they busted it outside. He was untouched into the end zone. So this looks like a nice big victory here for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Way to close out the regular season.
Yep, that was an excellent play.
So Franny Gonzalez lined up, and he gets the kick up. It looks good. And it is good. So with 48.7 seconds to go in the fourth period, the Fort Morgan Mustangs 29, Vista Peak 18 on B106 and B106.com. Okay, back at Vista Peak High School in Aurora with Kevin Rohde. This is Brian Nickel on a looks like a Fort Morgan victory here, 29-18 with 48.7 seconds to go in the game. Fort Morgan just scored on a 16-yard run by Jared Bohm on fourth. That was 4th and 1.
Lynn's pretty strong behind him. I hope he kicks it up into the end zone.
So kick downfield, and it's going to be taken about the 2 out to the 5, 10, and he is going to be brought down. Should be a block in the back, but they're not going to call it right now. It doesn't look like he was already down. So that's going to bring up a 1st and 10 for the Mustangs from about the 23-yard line.
And Coach Chisholm talking to his players saying, let's keep cool. Let's not get in any fights or anything. We don't know whether we're going to need you next week. The faithful for Vista Peak starting to exit the small stands here where they got about 10 rows and 4 sections.
So they have 3 receivers left. 1 right, 1 single back in the backfield, and Noah Butler looked downfield, and it's going to be intercepted by Eric Klughoff. Game sealed and delivered by the Mustangs. He picks that off at the 35-yard line. So Fort Morgan should be able to run 1 play.
Intercepted by number 29.
And as they say, the rest is history, Brian.
That's right.
This is going to put a great end to the Fort Morgan season, give them some impetus going into next season. Kids are going to want work a lot harder in the off season. Plus, they have the opportunity, the outside chance that they move up enough with this victory to make state.
So O'Neill on the ball here with 35.1 seconds to go. And that is where first down started from, so it'll bring up a second down. Okay. So I don't believe they have to run another play. They're down. What is the play clock in high school? Is it 30 seconds?
25, but I'm not sure.
That doesn't matter now. They just took a kneel on 2nd and 10. So the Fort Morgan Mustangs come away with a big victory here at Vista Peak, 29-18. Very happy Fort Morgan Mustang team as they go across the field to shake hands with Vista Peak. So we'll take a 3-minute break and be back with a post-game show. Fort Morgan 29, Vista Peak 18 on B106 and B106.com.
And I'd like to thank
the Mustang post-game show is brought to you by High Plains Bank. Hometown service on a higher plane, that's High Plains Bank. Visit the friendly staff at 502 Central Avenue in Wiggins for assistance in opening a loan, equity line of credit, or checking account. See what over a century of customer service can do for you at High Plains Bank. And what a happy post-game show we have going on here this afternoon. The Fort Morgan Mustangs defeat the Vista Peak Bison by a score of 29-18. Vista Peak won the first half 18-0. The Fort Morgan Mustangs won the second half 29-0. So that is a big win here for the Mustangs. So we'll recap the scoring from the first of the game. Vista Peak was on the board first with 1:42 to go in the first period on a 51-yard touchdown pass to Isaiah Young, and that's how the first quarter came to an end, 6-0 in favor of Vista Peak. Vista Peak then scored on a 4-yard run by Nathan Miller with 6 minutes to go in the second period. The extra point no good, so that left it at 12-0 in favor of Vista Peak. Vista Peak then scored again with 24.8 seconds to go in the second half on a pass to Ortiz, on a 9-yard pass to Ortiz. Extra points, again no good, 18-0. And that's where the half ended in favor of the Bison. But in the second half, it was a whole different team in game as the Fort Morgan Mustangs came out and scored on 4 plays on a 29-yard touchdown run by Jared Bohm with 10:17 to go in the third period. Fort Morgan and the extra point no good. Then Fort Morgan scored again with 8:36 to go in the third period. 3 plays, a 1-yard run by Toby McBride, and that was set up by a fumble by Vista Peak on their 8-yard line. So Fort Morgan did capitalize on that turnover and take it into the end zone. Franny Gonzalez extra point good makes the score 18-13 in favor of Vista Peak. On the next possession by Vista Peak, they were it was 4th and 16 at their own 11, and in punt formation, the snap went over the head of the punter for a safety for the Mustangs. So that made it 18-15 with 6:54 to go in the third period. And then Fort Morgan on their next possession had a 14-yard touchdown pass to Eric Kimball, and the kick was good by Franny Gonzalez, and that made the score Fort Morgan 22, Vista Peak 18 with 4:48 to go. And then Fort Morgan then scored again on a 16-yard run with 48 seconds to go in the game. Extra point also good by Franny Gonzalez. The touchdown was by Jared Bohm on a 16-yard run. Extra point made it 29-18 final score. So a nice victory here for the Mustangs. Nice way to end the regular season, and we'll see if the points come up or not. If not, it was a nice way to end a totally different tale of two halves here, as Kevin can probably tell us that by his stats.
Absolutely. The telling tale is second half stats. Fort Morgan 147 yards and Vista Peak minus 14. So it's just a complete reversal of the first half. In the game, Snyder ends up 3 of 10 attempts for 36 yards, an important statistic that there were no interceptions. He also rushes the ball for 15 yards, or loss of 15, those coming on sacks. Fadoa, 5 carries for 40, and one of those, the 4-yard run that we talked about earlier that, probably sealed the game. McBride had 5 carries and a loss of 2 yards overall, but he did get a touchdown, 1-yard touchdown on that. Snyder had the 14-yard passing touchdown also, forgot to mention. Jared Baum had 15 carries for 71 yards, 2 of those for touchdowns, 129 yards, 116 yards. Tate Campbell ran 11 times for 26 yards, and that gives us a total of 40 carries for 120 yards, which was a complete turnaround from first half. Pass receiving, Campbell had 2 for 31. One of those was the miraculous ball that I can't remember who originally got it, and then was tackled and never quite pulled it in, tipped it over to Kimball, and he got the touchdown. Then we have Herrera getting 1 catch for 5 yards. So that pretty much sums up the day. First half, Vista Peak. Second half, the one that counts, Fort Morgan. And like you say, who knows? Beating a team that has as many wins as Vista Peak is going to count more for us than some of those other teams beating teams that have a bunch of losing records. And all the teams that we've played, if they all won, that would help us. If all the teams that some of the close ones, had played, lost, there's always that outside chance. But as I look back on the season, Brian, I see that Saturday afternoon in Skyline after the flood, and neither team really came to play. They were both kind of sleepy that day, and it just turned out that Skyline was awake enough to win that game, and that's the difference in the season. If we don't make the state playoffs, that's the game to look back on and feel like that got away from us.
Yeah, that was a big loss there, 14-2. They could only muster a safety. But it was a nice way to end. If they don't go any farther, it's a nice way for these seniors to remember their last football game, coming out just dominating the second half. They must have had quite a talking to at halftime, or they just took it upon their shoulders themselves, whatever it was. But they came out, and once they started rolling up points on Vista Peak just basically gave up, it looked like to me. They never their passes weren't as crisp as they were in the first half. And another thing that hurt Vista Peak was the Fort Morgan defense. They when he was back to try to get a pass off, he was being dogged really most of the afternoon, but more so in that second half. And he wasn't getting a lot of time to pass that ball.
That's one of the things that I and a lot of people I talk to love about high school football is the emotion of the game, that you can be down and not play well one half and come back from that adversity and decide that you're going to overcome and get that swing of emotions. And you're right, we saw that night is, as much as night is different from day, first half from second half, and the Mustangs came out. And you have a team like Vista Peak, and I'm not going to, run them down because they're a good program. They obviously put up a lot of points on us first half. But sometimes, new programs or programs that aren't from, I don't know how to put this because I don't want to insult anyone, but I look at Fort Morgan, Brush, I see those areas out in the country, and they just seem to have a lot more pride and a lot more discipline than sometimes when you get in and play the inner city schools. We saw that at Denver North, also had a lot of discipline problems. Inglewood, just making mistakes and not being mentally into it. And I think that was the difference in the second half, that Vista Peak made those mistakes all game long. Fort Morgan just didn't capitalize on them. But Fort Morgan, hung in there. A great game, a great season for Coach Chisholm, something to build from. And who knows if we'll ever play Vista Peak again. The schedule for next year is up in the air as to what league we're going to be in. So a lot of exciting things for Fort Morgan football to build off of this last end of the season victory.
Yeah, it was. It looked good, and I know the freshman football team had a real good year, and the junior varsity also had a good year. So things are looking real positive here for the Mustangs as they go forward. In the football realm, whether they continue next week or not, that's going to be decided here probably tonight when they start putting in their the numbers and see where they end up going. But there's a few people we want to thank. We want to thank all of our sponsors for this year. If we don't come back next year, I'm going to read off a list of who I have here, and that is Blodorn Lumber, Ingmar Phillips Insurance, Early Toyota East, Morgan Federal Bank, Buildings by Design, State Farm Insurance, Premier Farm Credit, MMI International, Valley View Villa, B&B Appliance, Ackley Building Center, Stubbs Gas and Oil, Central Auto Parts, Mr. D's Ace Farm and Home Center, Equitable Savings and Loan, Morgan Community College, ACI's Colorado Plains Medical Center, Willow Coffee, Tea, and Smoothies, Brush Grocery Cart, High Plains Bank, and a new one that just came on today was Wolf Auto Center. So we'd like to thank them for all their support and be able to put these football games on this year. And some other people I would also like to thank from the radio station would be Alec and Christy Creighton for allowing us to be able to go out on the road and at home to bring you the football games, and also to John Beltran, sports director at B106, for getting us straightened out and getting all our preparation for the games that come up in the following week. We also would like to thank Michaela Klimper. She was the sound engineer and producer today. We also want to thank Braden Godin. He's been doing it a number of times also this year, so big thanks to both of them. I'd also like to thank Alan Lance. He's a coordinating producer for high school football. He's done a wonderful job in that regard also this year. Also to Brandy Ingersoll. She is the coordinating producer for high school football through B106, and that's something new that they just did this year, and she's done a wonderful job there. So everybody back at the radio station has, makes it easy for us. Kevin and I get the good part. We get to come out and watch these games and watch these kids play, and everybody we just talked about, they sit back in the radio station and make sure that we're on and keep us lined out for during the broadcast. So, and I'd also like to thank my broadcast partner Kevin Rohde for his insight and knowledge into the game and the great job he does every week, keeping the stats. It makes it real easy to do these games. And some other people I want to thank is Coach Harrison Chisholm and the high school football team for their product that they put out on the field this year. It's been fun to follow them. We'll just see if we get to go one more week or not. So Anything?
Just wanted to reiterate the thanks for everybody. I won't go back through the list, but thank you, Brian, for the job you do also. And folks, support those sponsors because they make this possible for you.
So we're going to go ahead and close this out. So as we said, the sound engineer and producer of Fort Morgan Mustangs football has been Michaela Klimper. The producer for Mustang Replay is Alan Lance, and the coordinating producer for high school football is Brandy Ingersoll. For Kevin Rohde, I'm Brian Nickel. Fort Morgan Mustangs 29, Vista Peak Bison 18. You've been listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs football on V106 and V106.com. Good afternoon.